Welcome to the Paris Motor Show 2014. This is our Best of the Rest video. Best of the Rest! I don't think it was possible to want a new 500 quite as much as I want this car. It's the Abarth 695 Biposto, and just look at it, it's so serious. Proper carbon bucket seats, sequential gearbox in a road car. I mean, it's sort of, imagine this on Coles Trini. How cool would that be? Sadly, no sports cars to tell you about on the Porsche stand this year at the Paris Motor Show, but there is this. It's the newly restyled Cayenne. It's a very, very mild facelift, to be honest. The tweaks are probably slightly more obvious around the rear of the car, as you'll see in a second when it gets around here. So it's a Cayenne S e-hybrid. Most of the power comes from the 3-litre V6 under the bonnet, but there is also a 93 brake horsepower electric motor. Totals 416 brake horsepower, 0 to 62 mile an hour time, 5.9 seconds, top speed 151 miles an hour. It's merely adding to Porsche's ever burgeoning range of hybrid vehicles, topped out of course by the 918 Spyder, which we love. If you have a look inside, the wheel is kind of inspired in fact by the 918 Spyder, their new multi-function wheel, which you saw on the Macan as well, much better than the old one. Range, well, it's about 22 miles on fully electric, and it's got 79 grams per kilometre CO2 figures, if you like that sort of thing, and up to 83 mpg. All very impressive stuff. Porsche, green. I do love what they've done well. It's the calipers, brake calipers. That's what's really cool about this. Luminous yellow calipers. Reason enough to buy it. That's a lot of engineering for a sound system. Where are you going to put the bike too? Literally no idea what I'm doing. I think I'll stick to two-wheel pedal power, to be honest. It's very cool though. So I wasn't sure we were going to find any suitably mad tuned supercars at the Paris Motor Show, but we have. Tucked away in the back of Hall 3 is Nimrod. We first saw this company at Geneva earlier in the year, and they're back with two of their cars. The Katusha one, which we saw as well, which looked a bit like an Enzo, but was in fact based on a 458, isn't here, but is being tuned. Since then, Hennessy Performance have come along, and they're tuning the engines as well. They were just starting projects before. So, Aventador, not having too much done to it. Apparently the transmission sort of kind of won't really take too much more power. 458, however, that'll take more. Twin turbocharging, in fact, 738 brake horsepower. How does that float your boat? This is the Citroen C4 airflow concept. It's actually quite cool. Looks sort of like a trainer or something like that. An aerodynamic trainer. Nick likes it anyway. We did a video featuring this from Geneva when it was unveiled, but I make absolutely no apology for us shooting it again. It's just gorgeous. The Maserati Alfieri concept. Please, please build it. You can imagine this against a new AMG GT and a F-Type Coupe and a 911 and a new R8. Oh, just what a group test. No, this hasn't been speeded up. This is just a dangerously fast spinning Fiat 500 off-road concept model thing. I'm getting quite dizzy. I don't like it. The real thing's over there. Probably the fastest the Fiat 500 has ever gone. I'm a big fan of the Topolino, the original 500, and yeah, I'd like this. This is a piece of sculpture, is lovely. They've got a wooden one over there as well, but this is very, very pleasing. Amazing to think I used to fit in one of these. I still do, for that matter. The coolest things on the Peugeot stand are undoubtedly all motorsport orientated. So this is the 208 T16 R5 car, which we've seen before. They've also got the World Rallycross car across there, which is even better. Sort of obviously much more power and all sorts of cool things with the venting and the radiators in the back. And I just makes me think I really want Peugeot to come back and be in WRC again. However, they are going to be back in Dakar. So this is the Peugeot 2008 Dakar car. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's rear-wheel drive, which you might not have expected. The engine is twin-turbo V6 diesel, which is sort of mid to rear mounted. It's got 340 horsepower and 590 pounds-foot of torque. It's just immensely cool, and I really, really want to have a go in it. Mini's Superleggera concept isn't brand new, but this is the first time I've seen it, and I think it looks absolutely stunning. There are sort of hints of all sorts of other cars all over it. There's almost sort of Zagato Aston Martin about the front, and then this sort of strong crease line around here is almost sort of Continental GT. Lights at the back, sort of see British flag, but there's also hints of sort of Lambo in that. It's just a lovely, lovely car, and I really hope they build it because the roads would be, well, frankly, a better place with this on it. This is the brand new Skoda Fabia that's been unveiled at the 2014 Paris Motor Show, and it looks rather good. I think it's it's like an updated design of the original Fabia, I think, rather than a sort of evolution of the second generation, which was always looked a little bit awkward. They always reckoned it looked a little bit tall, so they've actually taken 30 millimeters off the height and added another 90 millimeters to the width of this one. Shares a range of engines with the Polo, as you sort of would probably expect, and it's due to start at just about £10,500 when it goes on sale in the UK. Their idea, sort of their slogan, I suppose, is simply clever. So I'll show you one thing that I thought was quite cool just around here. It's all about the little touches, obviously, the surprise and delight, and you don't get much more surprising or delighting indeed than, that's right, an ice scraper inside the fuel cap. The hatchback version like this is only available in 5-door, as far as I can tell. Certainly I can't see a 3-door anywhere. They've also unveiled the Combi, which is sort of a estate version, which looks rather nice as well. No word yet on a VRS version, although I'm hoping for I hope they go back to what they had before with that sort of the original VRS and being the diesel, because it was, had quite a cult following, that car. One thing I think they should ditch is they've got these sort of various colour combinations here with different colour A-pillars and roof, and it just looks terrible. So yeah, stick to a solid colour. Great car. One of my favourite cars at the show is this. It's tucked away on the Orange stand, the mobile company, and it's been designed by a bunch of students called Spyder, which they've done various other concepts we've featured in the past. And it was made in just 45 days. It just looks really, really cool. It's kind of like a sort of a modern interpretation of an old ERA or something like that. It's got a BMW V12 under the bonnet, sadly not the Paul Roche designed one from the McLaren F1, but one from a 750i. Nonetheless, 300 brake horsepower. It should sound pretty good. Certainly these exhausts look pretty cool, poking out both sides. Inside there are rafters sort of screens, a couple of iPad minis, and you sit with your legs splayed, sort of, accelerated brake obviously, and it's the automatic gearbox, so no clutch to worry about. It's just a really cool thing. It's like a sort of Caterham on steroids or something like that. It would be great. It would be fantastic. Everyone loves a beach buggy. This has got a 4-cylinder in the back. It's all a bit 80s really. It's obviously going to a customer, hence it's all wrapped in plastic and stuff, but yeah, beach buggies, great. Practice my bunker shots in here. The models on the stands are made to wear some pretty extraordinary outfits sometimes, but Lexus has topped them all this year.
What's your name?
Henry.
Henry.
What's your name?
It's nice to meet you, Henry. I'm Inez.
Fantastic. So where are you controlling this from?
Just me. It's just me. I've got my wheel that decides that I can roll around, and it's kind of like your legs.
Brilliant.
In a way, yeah.
How do you manage with steps?
I don't manage the steps, unfortunately.
The Daleks had the same problem.
The steps are a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Merci, au revoir.
Merci, au revoir.
I've just had a conversation with an iPad on wheels. It doesn't get weirder than that, does it? So, just when you thought it couldn't get more basic than a Twizy, you have the Toyota iRoad. It's extraordinary. You've got 3 wheels, so 2 at the front and 1 at the back, which does the steering. It's got a range of about sort of 50 kilometres, so 31 miles, and top speed about 45 kilometres an hour, so that's about 27 miles an hour or something like that. And it's obviously fully electric. It's quite basic in here, I have to say, and there's not a lot of room for anyone sort of bigger than me or with longer legs than me. The windows shut sort of kind of with a bizarre magnet affair like that, which is some protection, I suppose. And it leans when it goes around corners, which could be faintly terrifying, frankly. Apparently you can't buy it for personal use, which might be just as well. The most extraordinary looking concept car that we have found so far at the Paris Motor Show is this, the Locust. It's on a stand of a company called 4H, who produce electric sort of personal mobility sort of vehicles, a bit like the Twizy. This is in fact based on a Suzuki Jimny and looks like a Twizy off-roader on steroids. It's challenging. I like an art car as much as the next person. Probably more, in fact. I do not like this. This is the brand new Renault Espace. Quite cool. Just for Jethro, that. He loves his MPVs. This is the Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead Coupe Water Speed Collection. It's striking. It's a bit like a sort of industrial kitchen's been grafted onto a Rolls-Royce. Chefs, they have a lot of money, don't they? Celebrity chefs, it's for them, really. So, that's it. The end of the Paris 2014 Motor Show, or at least the press days. We thought we'd finish up by sitting in the new BMW 2 Series Cabriolet. and a lovely little thing it is too. We've been checking your Facebook and Twitter, and not yours, ours I suppose, but your comments on our Facebook and Twitter and our lovely new website. It seems that the Lamborghini is the standout thing, but it's really split opinion amongst you. Some of you absolutely love it, some of you absolutely hate it. No middle ground whatsoever, it seems. People saying they can see bits of Mura in it, somebody said they could see a bit of Panamera at the front, all sort of perfectly valid comments, I have to say, having sort of stood next to it and had a good pour over it. Other things that people have liked, well, the new Civic Type R is always sort of, always going to get a lot of comment, and you're still obviously all looking forward to that very much indeed, as we are too. Finally, the Mercedes AMG GT also seems to be very high on people's lists of want. Not surprising, really. So keep your comments coming, and hope you enjoyed this video. Hope we found everything wild and wacky that you wanted to see at the Most Show, and yeah, we'll see you again at the next one. Thank you very much as well to the person that commented and said that I had ironed my shirt. I know I didn't make a very good job of it, but I really did try, so thank you.